Hello, everyone. I'm Phalanges,
I am Daz. Daz I am. I do not like Racia opticals.
and this is the MouseCast podcast for the week of Thursday, December 5th. Today we're talking about XDefiant is shutting down on June 5th, 2025, just 13 months after it was released. And also, how about what's the best looking gaming mouse of all time?
We're going to talk about our mostly favorite YouTubers and then also give you our thoughts on GlassPad after boardzy gave us his thoughts on it as well.
Yeah. So, let's start out with what's on your desk right now, Daz.
Speaking of GlassPads, I picked up the SkyPad 4.0 recently on the Black Friday sale because I figured I should probably try a GlassPad if I could talk about it. And then I'm still using the X1 Ultimate from ATK. That's the main mouse I've been rocking.
Okay. What color SkyPad did you go with?
I went with a white.
And also a white X1 Ultimate.
Yep, white on white.
Cool. I've got also the ATK X1 Pro, so the cheaper one. I've done my snotification rubber side
Yeah.
grips to it. And then I also have an X-ray pad, Aqua Control Zero, the Orange Wave edition. Love this pad. One of my favorite pads, dude.
Never
Um,
tried it. Interesting.
yeah. So, okay, let's talk about first our favorite mouse YouTubers, huh? Um, we just have a list here, and we're just gonna kind of rattle off some thoughts on some we watch more than others, and we'll maybe say why. So starting off the list, fresh reviews, huh?
He always comes up for me, but I never really watch the videos very often. So
Okay. So fresh reviews, he's at 37,000 subscribers, 345 videos. He does really in-depth reviews, which is something I like, and he'll often do comparisons. So I mean, you'll see here like two good budget editions, the S10 and the MCHO's L7. I like that because then it's a comparison point, but he gives good detail. He's mechanically a talented player. He plays a lot of Apex from what it looks like. Um,
Hey,
I don't want to
welcome back to the channel.
like
2024 has really been a
I
year
don't
of
want to get like
improvement.
copyright striked or whatever, but yeah, this is kind of his format. It's his hands, his mouse pad, and yeah, I like his videos, but I'm also not like they're informative, right? They're not entertainment. They're information.
yeah, I'll have to check him out because there's a place for both the information and then also the entertainment. And then there's some people who kind of mix it together. So
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I heard his name, Fresh Reviews, and I saw the like graffiti logo, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a simpleton normie style review channel." And it's like the opposite. It's the most in-depth, nerdy. Yeah, he's one of the more in-depth reviewers, I would say.
it looks like a logo I would have seen playing game battles on Modern Warfare 2 in like 2010.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. I think moving on, boardzy is some. Is he probably the biggest right now? The most relevant right now?
I would think so. 230,000 subs. I watch every one of his videos because they're short to the point and well, as someone with a child, I have some downtimes.
Right. He blends a good level of informative but also entertaining. He's not the kind of guy who you want to go to for like super in-depth stuff, but he does have a lot of like his mousepad roundups, right? He's the only one I could find anything on about the GameSense LiDAR, which is a
Mm.
spandex pad, kind of like the Raiden or Infinite Speed V2. Um, he's one of the most talented players in the mouse reviewing community, probably, right?
Yeah,
Like,
the Kovac scores are insane.
yeah, his Kovacs are like he'll be in like top 20 for something, and he's not like an aim trainer, you know. It's not his thing. He's just cracked. Yeah,
Yeah, one I like his seal of approval, like gimmick kind of a thing. It's always kind of cool. I will
yeah,
say like he gives like a high level of like thought of a mouse and like sometimes he won't recommend it. And I've like for a long time I was like, Boardsy's the truth, I won't try this mouse. And there have been a few mice I can't think of off the top of my head that he was not a fan of that I ended up loving once I got them. So everyone's got a different experience with mice, but he does generally have pretty good takes.
yeah. The seal of approval, I agree with that. It's like the market is so saturated with things that it's really easy to see something and be like, oh, I want to try that out, and then um, it's just not good quality, and you should have gone for something that has the seal of approval instead. For example, the GameSense LiDAR I regret getting now that I have a Lamzu Energon. They're both, the LiDAR's good. The Energon is just better in like every way. So
Was that a case where he did not give the LiDAR the seal of approval, or
he did really like the Energon though.
okay?
One take of his that I don't agree with is dot skates. He's big into just only have four, one at each corner. I do like he has the no nonsense. You know, people will post, "How's my dot placement on r/mouse review?" And it's like, dude, do whatever the heck you want as long as it feels good. And he will be that way too. He'll be like, "Yeah, do whatever you want. It feels good." But then he'll also be like, "I see people with, 8 dots on the bottom of their mouse," and I'm just like, bro, why are you even using dots? That's something I disagree with. More dots is nice if you're using a very soft pad and you don't want to sink into the pad. Let's say you have a Artisan Heian soft or X soft. You really wanted a mid, but that's all that was on Mouse Market. So you put more dots on it. Yeah. But yeah, his no nonsense review style is nice, and he's entertaining. So things like saying that the HTR clay is a gimmick,
And deal with clay. Yeah.
and he compared it to Play-Doh at one point. Yeah,
Yeah, I love how he'll spin mice and occasionally just chuck a mouse as well. That always gets me.
I can't, dude. His mouse spins are unreal.
In this last video, he like complimented his mouse
I
spin.
know you saw that too. That was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I also love his streams because they're just great to listen to and zone out to when talking about mice. So
He's very good at not having dead air in his videos. He's quick, quick, quick. He does things one take, so he could pump out videos if he wanted to. But yeah, he's entertaining. Okay, house gaming, dude. Talk about quality.
I also want to try his mouse pad, but yeah, his production value is pretty solid.
So house gaming, for you guys who don't know him, he is a former Call of Duty pro and now a high-level CS player. Am I saying that correctly?
I would say so.
And he has kind of like Optimum. He has a clean review style. He does a little bit of testing, like he had, what was that, click response testing here.
Yeah, latency and response time. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you read something about him not posting videos as recently anymore. Why is that?
Yeah, I had noticed that he hadn't posted videos in a while, like 5 months here. And then there had been a couple tweets about it. Someone posted on Mouse Review earlier, and I guess someone who knows him well said he just got a job that requires more of his time, so he hasn't had time to do reviews now. But it sounds like he'll get back to it eventually because he does enjoy it. So
Yeah, apparently he's friends with the famous Pizzogel from Tech Power Up, the GOAT reviewer for written reviews, in my opinion. Anyway, House Gaming, check him out. Yeah, and he's collabed with Freefall for a pad.
I feel like I could listen to House Gaming narrate ice melting, and I'd be pretty entertained.
Yeah, what's his accent? Is he Swedish? Norwegian?
I should know this. That seems right.
Yeah. I'm just a boomer doing peripheral reviews. Dude, that's how it feels. Okay, next one. BadSeed Tech. So here's kind of more of a mainstream reviewer, right?
So I've only seen 2 of his videos, and he gives me the vibe that he like does a mouse review and then rides off on his Harley. But that's all I've got.
Yeah, he is quite a radio voice. Very deep, but not like intolerable. It still is comforting.
So he's got 150,000 more subs than boardzy, but he's a little more peripheral than just mice.
Yeah. So BadSeed does. Again, he has very, very high production value with his videos. I've watched his OLED, his Sony 480 hertz this monitor review like a couple times now. Just everything is well scripted to the point. Says the point, moves on. He calls out. Oh, wait, sorry, this is not the Sony one. He calls out the Sony. Yeah, WTF Sony for having issues with not actually technically supporting DisplayPort 2.1, so there's still DSC. He has like actual testing that he does, really nice graphs. Like this is a well put together video. The pacing is good. He doesn't pause. He doesn't beat around the bush. Even though this video is 11 minutes long, every minute of it has relevant information. Um, when
And
it
the
comes,
top comment there speaks to what you were saying.
oh yeah,
He is.
Brian is such an expert at calling companies out while keeping it professional. That's very true. Yeah. Now, when it comes to mice, how how much how much of a opinion how much of an influence is he on you?
I've only watched like his top mice review video from whatever that was most recently, and I agreed with it. But yeah, I don't come to BadSeed a lot,
Yeah.
mostly because there's less mice videos than I would like, I guess. But they're good when he makes.
Yeah. He still is a more mainstream reviewer. His top 5 gaming mice here are probably pretty good. So WML's Beast X looks like a Zowie. Okay, I guess the Zowie lineup. XM2 4K, XM2W, X2H, Viper V3 Pro, like all solid enthusiast choices, right? But he's no cracked FPS player like boardzy. Um, he doesn't get into the detailed pad reviews like fresh reviews, so I don't watch him. I don't think I'm subscribed to him, but I'm glad he exists for the people who are not so hardcore like us.
Yep.
Okay, jakeu. Is this one you know much about?
Yeah, I like JQ. Well, he had that mouse pad and mouse storage solution we talked about on a previous episode, but his videos are usually a bit longer, but they're very in depth. Although recently he talked about this on Twitter. He's like dropped the frequency of his videos because he was just so burnt out. He felt like he had to make a review for everything and talk about it even if it was crappy. And he's kind of like, I'm only gonna review things that I really truly enjoy and that I want to make a review for. So I respect that.
Yep, I respect that too. Especially with how like saturated the market is. JQ, he has 11,000 subscribers. Yeah, I think he deserves more than that. Um,
I agree.
yeah, yeah, like he has some like the ear and ear gecko that you and I both got. He talks about that here. So things Soku Kaizen Pro, never even heard of this. So he has some stuff that's not even mainstream. He has a customized mouse that's painted with his name on it. He's a high level Valorant player, right?
I believe so.
So I don't know. Um, anyway, I don't have strong opinions on him. I don't watch him when they come out or whatever. So
Nah, they've come out less frequently recently, and then yeah, I more so run across him when I'm looking at like an older mouse, and he happened to do a review on that. So I'll check it out.
yeah, but I respect him.
Yeah,
I do think he has. Is he fairly active on Twitter?
he is. He's a good Twitter follow.
Yeah, and I think he talks about like upcoming releases and stuff. He'll just post a couple quick thoughts on it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I have seen him on here. Okay. RocketJumpNinja, the OG dude.
So he got me into this whole thing, to be
That's
honest.
got a lot of us into it. Um, yeah, back in the day before mice all had flawless sensors and flawless wireless performance, RocketJumpNinja was kind of the goat because he was talking about the things that mattered before other people were. So,
And as you know, shape is king. So
yeah, that like still is
yeah,
true. He was right on that. I do get he gets a bit of criticism nowadays because I think well, have you seen the criticism that he's gotten like recently?
I think he made some potentially um, some comments that weren't loved by people in terms of like a politically a view he had. Potentially, I saw that a while ago. I'm not sure if you ran across that.
Oh, okay. I never ran across that. I
And I'm
just,
not sure that was confirmed. That was like a rumor I saw. But
mm,
beside that,
I think he's just, everyone succumbs to the curve, as they say. And while his video style was very good years ago, Now it's just a little bit played out. Um, you have people who are, quite frankly, more talented, like boardzy. You have people who are more in depth, like fresh reviews. So I don't know. I used to watch his videos every time there was a new release, instant click.
Yep.
Now, um, his opinions are just a little bit different. You know, he has a very specific, like relaxed claw, fully extended finger grip style. So the MZ1 I wasn't a big fan of. But again, I respect that he like made his own shape and stuff and has his own philosophy. His website I've gone to a handful of times where he has like his weight to length ratio and such, which is sort of useful, but then Elo shapes is better.
Yeah, I would not recommend the find a mouse for my hand size feature on his website. It
Okay.
has not tracked for me at all. It's
But
far too specific.
yeah. He doesn't talk about pads that much for how much he talks about mice. I guess
Yeah.
it is good that he like highlights every single mouse individually, and he gives gameplay, and he still is like a talented FPS player, so I still like respect his opinion, but um, I guess it's
Yeah,
just not
really.
the format.
He's the OG. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It's kind of antiquated. I always wanted him to tell me the measurements when he measured them.
Yep. I know, like grip width and stuff, dude. That's
Yeah.
because nobody would give you like a picture of the bottom of the mouse to be able to really see like how much does it taper in. Yeah. Like I feel like if it wasn't for him, now when you buy a mouse from a product page, they give you that, top, underside, side view, isometric view, and I feel like he was a person who um, saw the importance of that and would talk about shape in that regard, and that prompted companies to have to provide those photos. So I guess he kind of pioneered a lot of what a modern mouse review is, but today I think he's just not as relevant, and you can see that from the view counts compared to
Yeah, I
older videos.
couldn't tell you what the last video I watched from him was, to be honest with
I mean, dude, his Starlight 12 has 422,000 views. That's mainstream, dude.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing is I think he's a little bit. I think some people get a little bit weirded out by like he has a book series. He did like he does like his own music. I think they're interesting. I think he's an interesting person. Um,
Yeah, I can respect
yeah,
being multi-talented like that.
yeah. Speaking of talented, Optimum, dude. I haven't watched this one yet.
Neither have I.
Optimum, is he going to be the biggest reviewer that we talk about here?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. His production quality is also off the charts.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, Optimum Tech, if you guys haven't heard of him, you're living under a rock, but in a nutshell, quality over quantity. Every one of his videos is a wealth of knowledge, very well scripted, very to the point. He has kind of a laid back vibe, um, but also isn't like some reviewers can be very product pushy. He's not that way. When something's really good, he'll be like, the best mouse pad I've ever used. Wooting made my dream keyboard, and those are like a buy it for life kind of mentality he has. But when something isn't interesting, he won't cover it. So you don't go to him for, oh, I want a review of the new Lamzu mouse that's coming out, because he's probably not going to have it. Not unless it's like literally the best mouse on the market. Which does he even have like?
Or like the modular mouse was like a thing that came out of left field, very unusual, so he covered that kind of a thing.
Yes. And obviously the view counts show just how big he is. I mean, find a glass pad video that gets nearly 500,000 views, you know, or a 16-gram mouse. Yeah. But then you can
Even
see,
like the Mac video there, I have no interest in 380,000 views. Like, yeah.
yeah, the simulator video I honestly don't have a ton of interest in either. So he's very well-rounded. He'll play FPS at a high level, but then he'll also make like really good quality videos, and then he's into sim racing and stuff. Yeah, mad respect to this guy, and he like lifts weights and stuff too. He's like a bodybuilder or whatever, but he always wears these super baggy minimalist clothes. It's great. The mouse Excel video is pretty cool. He talked about that 5 months ago. I still think there needs to be more coverage on mouse Excel. Viscose, I don't have her in here, but um, the only thing I want to say is you can see here with the view count on the modular mouse video, 372. That's like his worst performing video for a while. So that just goes to show um, part of this, this is his livelihood. So if he's going to put weeks into making a video, mice are, I think, more of a love of his rather than a money maker. Yeah. He does talk about the BeastX Viper V3 OP18K. Yeah. And then he had the controversial higher polling rate slowed motion camera video too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I like his Hall effect keyboard testing methodology as well.
Yeah. Simple but like understandable. Everything he does is very digestible.
Yep.
Okay, speaking of digestion, DiamondLobby reviews. He's a quirky one.
Yeah.
So, DiamondLobby reviews, if you guys don't know about this guy, highly recommended. He is, okay, we'll be honest, he's not some cracked, Fortnite pro or whatever, but his videos are so entertaining. Out of everyone in the list, is he my fastest click? He and Optimum are probably my fastest clicks. Because his videos are just so wildly entertaining. He has a British sense of humor that is
Yeah.
kind of
It's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, dry and self-deprecating and
Mhm.
but his like production quality is still pretty good. His scripting's pretty good. Um his knowledge is not, he's not as in depth as Fresh Reviews or JQ. Um, he's not as like, yeah, but he's. Oh, here's a tier list that he did. He's just really fun, and his takes are. I don't even think I care about his takes. Not that they're bad or anything. I just think he's funny.
He'd be fun to get a drink with.
Yeah, yeah, he's chill. Good mic quality. Yeah. No complaints. I guess he does an orange background for a lot. Look at that.
Yeah, it would be him and boardzy for me on the instant click.
Really? So DiamondLobby's that high for you? Wow.
I never have a bad time when he releases a video. It's always entertaining.
Yeah.
It's often when I'm picking up food in the car for some reason. I pop on DiamondLobby reviews.
Check him out. How about Stubby FPS? He's one I don't know too much about.
Yeah, I like that he's changed away from being like super generic. Like he's tried different video formats recently. Like he did like a review where he was just like outside and added some music to it and was talking about mice. I enjoy that. He's got like his little news segment he does that's like short, sweet, and to the point. I also enjoy that. Obviously, as we do something similar in a much more long form format. But yeah,
Okay.
he seems like a nerd through and through, and I appreciate that.
Good.
He'll talk about more, mouse pads as well as mice and some more niche things. I think
So
he has like some IEM videos that I'm not gonna watch, but he's
nice.
brought
That's a
those
nice.
close-up pictures.
Yeah, that's a nice quality microscope he has there.
Yep.
This should be like, dude, I got a microscope from Amazon for like 15, 16 bucks. It doesn't take pictures as good as this, but dude, if you review mouse pads, you should get a microscope.
He's sub 5K subscribers.
He
I feel like
deserves
he deserves
more.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
easily.
5K subscribers, dude, that's nothing. I'm at like 1.8K and I release absolute garbage.
He thinks
So,
really high quality stuff. Yeah.
yeah. Like,
He also mouse skate spreadsheet you may have run across on Reddit.
oh, okay. Like even this Nifter mouse is something I've been interested in, but there's not a whole lot of info on it. It's like a taller NPO1S. Yeah. And he covered it.
That was my complaint about the MPO1S. So, and I tried ordering a G Hero, and it did not ship. Thank you,
Yeah.
Alex.
I'll loan you mine or I'll sell it to you because I modded mine. It looks real nice with the white scroll wheel that I put on it. The stock
Oh yeah.
skates are really good, but I never use this thing. Yeah. So if you want it, let me know.
So this is one I've not even heard of actually.
Okay, so these guys are not relevant like at all anymore. It's two Latino guys,
Oh, it's been eight
and
months. Okay.
yeah, they are not relevant anymore, but they used to be.
Oh, I have seen them. I'm wrong. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Their videos are always like this. It's these two dorks sitting behind the camera, and I use them all the time for mousepad reviews because they are some of the most in-depth with mousepad reviews, and they'll be so glass infused pads, for example. They talk about three, and they compare them in depth. They it's not scripted. It's super rambly. It's not really. It, there's a lot that could be improved, but the simple fact that they actually talk about these weird niche products when nobody else does, I respect them for that. I use them like a library, right? You go to the library and you check out a book to, like an encyclopedia. I use them like an encyclopedia, right? You don't go read the encyclopedia for fun. You use it as a tool to learn something. So,
I think it was more niche mouse pads where I ran across them as well.
like this is a niche one that's
Going.
on this is a niche one that's on Amazon that I know nothing about. This Locust GG one. It's all over Amazon and it's like not at all on Reddit, but here they are talking about it. But they haven't posted anything in months. We're back, losers. 8 months ago when they talked about the OP1 8K. Yeah,
But actually 4K.
yeah. Oh wait, does he have a mustache now? He has a mustache now.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. So going from very niche to very mainstream, the Techne.
288,000 subscribers, and it feels like he could just be my uncle. I get like that's the vibe I
Yeah.
get.
Yeah. So the Techne, what's your take on him?
He covers headphones more than I'd like. Very interested in those. He's not like super technical. The heat scan, like heat outlines on the mice, is an interesting gimmick, but I don't really get much value from it unless I happen to have his exact grip and like hand size. So like, but he seems to do that a lot. When I first got back into mice and like found boardzy, I was also watching all of Techne's videos. I've kind of strayed away from him more recently. He did do a silent mouse review recently. I'm not sure if you saw that as well, where
Yeah.
it was like a review, but it was silent, and I don't think that went over too well. So that was interesting. But I guess he did try something new, so you have to respect that to some extent. But yeah, I found myself kind of just falling off of watching Techne more recently.
Yeah. So my take on Techne is mad respect for things like the force meter for testing flex, side
That is
flex,
cool. Yep.
and the heat signature. I don't think talking about heat signature for 2 or 3 minutes is relevant, but I feel like it's a tool that probably could be used in like a written review format where you have some still pictures taken.
I didn't realize he
Um,
went for that long. Wow, on the heat sig there.
yeah. So he's not, you're right, he's not, he has these technical tools. He has this desire to like give, he got the calipers out, dude. He got the force meter out. He wants to provide this information, so I guess that's really good if that's what you're after. Um, but just the 18-minute long video format, I don't think is the way to do this. Maybe I'm wrong though. But his personality is just what does it for me. He's just a little bit too typical YouTuber. Hey, I don't know. Maybe I should I shouldn't be such a hypocrite because you want to be able to be hype and get that engagement early on. But yeah, I mean he's an older guy. He's not like a high level FPS player. So when somebody doesn't play FPS games, it's a little bit harder to take their opinion as gospel, right? Um,
Yeah, he plays a lot of Destiny too. I think at least the last time I watched a lot, he did. But
is that what he's playing? I don't know what he's playing there.
I'm not sure. That
Oh, is this held? No, I don't know what this is. This is something PVE though.
unsure.
Um, but I do respect that he's a little bit more mainstream, so that is gonna hopefully bring people in. But again, it's a weird. If you're looking up like Darmo Shark and Ninjutsu and other weird mouse brands like that, ATK, you're probably going to gravitate to a reviewer more like a Fresh Reviews or a boardzy or a jakeu rather than Techne. But Techne covers those weird niche products. So, I don't know.
I don't want to like steer people away from him. He's not a bad reviewer. The videos aren't bad at all. High
That's true.
quality,
Yeah,
but
the videos are high.
not for me as much.
Yeah, 280. It's just a very different style from the other 288,000 subscriber, the other high sub count guys
He
we've
does have
seen.
like he'll get like that video there, top 5 headsets. We'll get 40,000, but then he'll do something that does like 2K. But like I think it's because he wants to do it, so I can respect that as well.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Whoops, if I can even spell it. AimAdapt.
AimAdapt.
Yeah. AimAdapt is a great resource, I think. What's your
He
take on him?
is. He's on the grind. This dude releases videos so frequently. It's funny because we talked about him a bit ago, and I almost complained that he was like just like a yes man, and he was giving all positive reviews, and he may have just been on like a string of really good products, perhaps at that time. But like, ironically, in one of his recent videos, he like talked about being more critical and going more in depth on like some of the negative things. So I feel like he like heard me almost.
Yeah,
The side he adapted, but he has great videos. I really enjoy them. I watch most of them.
he has this jolly, warm personality that I think is I'm not gonna lie, I agree with you. Sometimes it feels a little bit like buy this. It's good. Buy it. And
His titles are a little like it does make it sound like everything is the best,
yeah, this
but
is this the perfect mouse for you? Let's find out or whatever his intro is.
with the
Um
Viper Mini Sig, yeah.
yeah. So Um, yeah, I guess my take on him is first of all, I love the standardized format that he has. It makes it so easy to I want to know how the buttons feel. I want to know what the coding is like. I want
Oh,
to
which
know
yeah,
yeah. And then the best part, I absolutely love the shape comparisons in
the turntable,
the turntable, dude.
very good. Yeah,
Let's go to a
the way
turntable.
he like fades in and out, you can really see the like subtle differences in the shapes.
Exactly. Yeah. Can we
Yeah,
do a fade? This he's doing a side by side here. Where did he actually do a fade in and out? I think he did it with
did
the
it here.
Cyrox.
Yep,
Yeah.
like that's super helpful. About as good as you can get without trying a mouse.
Yeah. It's kind of innovative, honestly. And the turntable's really nice for. Does he do the turntable for this one? Maybe not. The turntable's really nice for like if you want to see how side slope, which for me is like one of the most important metrics in a mouse. Yeah, that really captures it well. Clean thumbnails too. Only
Yeah, I don't
wait,
really
wait,
have
he only has 18,000 subs,
I would have
dude.
guessed at least 100, if not more. Yeah,
I
he
would
deserves
have
so
too.
much more. Yeah,
Guys, go subscribe to AimAdapt. He's not. I don't know like how if he plays any games competitively or whatever, but it kind of doesn't matter. He has just such a good quality library of information.
so like click on his Ultimate Black Friday. The description of this video is so helpful. It's just a gigantic list of all the sales that were going on. He did so much work for this video.
Wow.
I
Yeah, dude.
don't have any complaints about him, to be honest. He's great.
Yeah. I mean, this list right here. This is a few hours of work just to compile
Yeah.
all of this. Yeah. Just for a video description. Yeah. Everything's just very standardized too. This webcam view, it's all the same. Yeah, I respect. So, okay, example. RocketJumpNinja has sort of a standardized format. So does AimAdapt. AimAdapt is so much more like searchable and kind of quick. It's not just opinion. He does all these objective tests and stuff, like the turntable and yeah. Go subscribe to him, guys.
No, exactly. Like, you can go to him and you'll get all of this exact information about the mouse. Like you'll come out knowing what you need to know about it.
Okay, moving on to Struth Gaming. Is he? Oh, I thought he was bigger. I thought he was a bit more mainstream because he
See, that's
does.
the name. That's it.
So, oh shoot, I was hoping you'd know more about him. Aim theory and education FPS content. So, Struth Gaming Gear. We'll go to his website. Yeah, that's right. He had these Clawmate 3D printed little things.
That's why I know about him. Yep.
I thought he was a coach for an esports team. So
Uh,
he's another incredibly talented FPS player, and he has a very confident, almost coach-like personality. Like, here's what you're probably doing wrong. Here's what you should try doing. If that's not working, try doing this. If that still doesn't work, then try going back and doing this. Just very logical. I guess he has a lot of gameplay stuff, but yeah, you can see the videos. Let's just go by popular. Um, the most powerful aiming technique in existence. Yeah. And he's very talented and very digestible. So I don't use him. I don't think he really does peripheral reviews. I guess he did get an orbital pathfinder. Interesting. He's done multiple videos on it. I should watch this because now with the pathfinder again, he's very like sports theory is how I would classify him. Oh, aim theory and improvement. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. He does not do mouse reviews as like a consumerist thing. He like he's very like
Bro,
improve mechanically, improve at the gameplay. Don't rely
bro
on
definitely works out, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you have
dude.
a veiny hand, and
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
so maybe the sports theory kind of lends into the aim theory.
Yeah. Um I watched his video on he had one on acceleration
Hmm.
and um yeah, I forget what else. Yeah, how to find your perfect aiming position. Yeah, like posture. Oh, I need to sit up. Anyway, I don't want to.
I watched that video. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys care about improving, Struth is good. He's, in my opinion, it can be a little bit intimidating, a little bit overwhelming because he's like so talented and such an authority on the. But, um, he's not. He has a website, but I don't think he pushes it too hard. Yeah. Anyway, I'd recommend Struth Gaming for sure. Only 43,000. Yeah, he should have more. All right, DatBoyGuru.
So yeah, I first ran across him because he does really good reviews on r/mouse review on Reddit.
Okay.
And they always have a very similar format. They're very in depth. He'll also cover some very niche products like mouse pads you run across in AliExpress. You don't know anything about them. He
Yeah.
probably covered them. Also, just another guy where I just love listening to him talk.
Yeah, he has an interesting accent. I don't know where from. And yeah, I do like that he has some of the weirder stuff. Like,
He'll often include multiple mice in a video at the same time.
yeah. Personally, I just don't kind of like his vibe. To me, he feels a little bit too. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm not a fan of him. Um,
He's smaller as far as subs go as well.
oh, only 3,000. He puts way more effort in. So that's only double my subs, and he puts way more than double the work than we put into our crappy videos. Yeah, well, okay, I respect him for like Rapu VT1 Pro. Yeah, nobody
It's
talks about
Alpan,
that.
ATK, AJazz. Yeah.
Yeah, even the IFU
Whatever.
G63. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, I have one. Oh, cool. Yeah, check him out then too. Okay, Random Frank P. This is one I just added to the list, dude. I don't even think do we even talk about
Oh, 2
him.
million subs.
Whoa, he hasn't come. He's been irrelevant for a while now. I remember when he was like a bigger tech YouTuber. Like he was pretty big. 2 million subs, dude. That's huge. That's
Yeah, I don't know if the
huge.
video views are tracking with the sub count. Like maybe viewers are less active than they used to be, but who knows?
Yeah. He's mainstream tech.
Yeah.
I don't. I never got into his personality. A little bit too YouTubery for me. I respect that he collabed with Pulsar for the randomfrankp edition X2, which does this topographic colorway.
Yeah, it's a good looking mouse.
Darn good looking mouse. But yeah, I don't think he's any sort of high level player. I don't think he is. I don't want to say he's definitely not a mouse nerd on the level of most of r/mouse review.
No,
You
I don't
know?
know if I watch his videos either. So
Yeah.
probably because he's too mainstream.
Yeah. Okay.
We're so cool.
Well, that's fair enough. How about somebody who's not at all mainstream is Melon? So this guy's more subs than I thought. I thought he would have been more like DatBoyGuru. He's still small. Melon is very detailed. He's not super scripted. Like you can tell he's reading from a script, but the script is a little bit more rambly compared to like an Optimum or someone who's very quick and to the point. That said, he gives a crap ton of detail. He's one of the most detailed. He will do disassemblies too.
Yeah, so it looks like he has a pattern of review and then tear down, review, tear down.
Yeah. Yep. And he'll do
And
individual component weights. Um,
there are
yeah.
definitely certain people who love this, possibly you.
Yeah, again, it's good for like a library. He doesn't post like super often, but he does have some weirder things like the Ponage Ultra Glide Glass pad, a teardown of the Centauri. So kind of like the next two that I'm going to talk about are a little bit more informational. He's a good library, we'll call it. Yeah. His I think his personality's fine. He comes across more informational than entertaining. The Future Part 3, only 500 views. Oh, he's not getting a whole lot of views on some of these. Then again, they're pretty, niche products. Oh, I think he also has huge hands. He seems like a really big guy. So, what did I watch of his? I forget what I watched of his. Anyway, gotta watch his Heavy B video. Okay, let's see if I can find... Nope, okay. So I need to go into my own YouTube and look up this channel because if I can, because it's in Chinese.
Oh, okay. That explains why I've not run across it.
Yeah. And right now my YouTube is not behaving. I'm clicking on my subscriptions and it's not bringing up the list. Okay, here we go. Where are you? So the Chinese translation is in... Here we go. Jeez. All right. The Chinese translation is inperipherals. You might recognize one of these videos once I play one. So it's a minute. This video is only a minute and 66 seconds long, and he's going to do a full teardown. Again, I don't want to watch the whole thing because copyright and stuff, but he weighs it. He has close-up camera shots for like the code. I mean, I'm sorry, I scrub and I miss anything. Comparison to the other mouse, dimensions, grip width. This is all silent. So you want to talk about a silent review done right? That's this.
Yes.
There's the full teardown. So I use his videos a lot to get the battery size and pinout. And he has started doing my job for me where, well, first of all, he goes and like shows all the clicks and everything and their sound with all this too. There we go. Just some chill music.
This is really cool. I'm impressed.
Sensor, the MCU. And he did not do the battery weight. On a lot of them, he'll do the battery weight. And I'm like, why do I even have my spreadsheet on Google Drive? Yeah, how he does this shot, I don't know. That's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and the best part is he has all the weird stuff. So the brand new Dare You A950 Air, that's like, it's slightly larger than a Final Mouse Medium, and it's lighter, without any holes.
That's actually impressive. Wow.
Yeah, like he'll actually unbox it here, dude. Did you see that? 35.1 grams. This thing is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to get too far down the rabbit. A950 Air. A950, and this is, let's search ULX, competition medium, sure. Yep, so it's slightly taller than the competition, and it's friggin' lighter without holes. It's a dare you mouse. Anyway, so he has a bunch of the weird AliExpress stuff. He does keyboards too. I like haven't watched a single keyboard one, but all the mouse reviews follow that exact format. You blink and you miss something. Unboxing, bottom layout, coding, dimensions. He'll have weight, disassembly, buttons, battery, even weighs the batteries, internal components, and then he'll show that. Yep. So fantastic, dude. When this guy drops a YouTube video on a mouse, it's an instant click because it's like a minute of my life.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Bearded Bob. So, have you heard of Bearded Bob before?
Yeah, his videos come up often when I'm searching for a mouse, but I don't usually click on them because it's not like up my alley, really.
Yeah. So, I think he stopped making videos recently. Like,
He
you can see,
streams a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but mad respect him because he does like a lot of destructive modding. You know, it's funny. Destructive modding has like become less relevant because mice have gotten so lightweight. So I was looking at the bottom of my ATK F1 Ultimate, and when you shine a light up to it, you can actually see if I can do this live on stream.
I'm assuming it's just very, very thin plastic on the bottom. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. The whole
That's
mouse
how
never came up
thin.
to the bottom.
Yeah. So this is an F1 Ultimate. So just goes to show destructive base modding this, you won't get very far. So his videos have his destructive modding has become sort of irrelevant, which is sad because I love modding, but it's what it is. But yeah, he's an older guy, so like respect to him. He's into soldering and stuff, which is cool. This topic has gone on crazy long, dude.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, 48 minutes. Well, the last one, Gen3D Tech. I don't know a ton about him other than he is like the AliExpress guru. He posts on Twitter pretty frequently when there's a new weird AliExpress mouse. I guess his YouTube channel's pretty dead. He posted regularly a year ago.
Yeah, he's also got good, or at least he had really good Reddit mouse reviews.
Yeah. I think he still is active on Twitter. Yeah. Science and technology. I don't know what that means, but yeah, November 30th, so this is recent. So,
Doing giveaways, yeah.
cool. Yeah, he's commented on a couple of my things on Mouse Review before. Okay. Any closing remarks on YouTubers?
No, I think we did a pretty good job covering them.
Cool. XDefiant is officially shutting down as Ubisoft announces FPS end date. So, is this the Dexerto article? Yeah, I actually want to go to this link here. So, XDefiant, if you guys haven't played it, it's worth checking out. It's a free-to-play FPS that's it's like a longer TTK. It's not as long, it's a much longer TTK than like a Call of Duty, but it's shorter than than the finals, I would say. You know, it's like assault rifles are probably like a 6-7 hit kill kind of thing. Yeah, I hope I'm right on that. There's like shields and stuff though. The gameplay, it's not. It had a lot of promise.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype around it. Just kind of like be what we wanted COD to be.
Yeah, very objective based compared to COD. There's you're almost like Overwatch, right? They have like the escort game mode type thing, and each character had like special abilities, whether it was like a flaming drone that they could shoot out and attack players, or a shield that they could deploy. I really enjoyed the game. It's one of those games that you definitely can run into really sweaty players. So like you kind of gotta. That was one thing I struggled with it was I liked it, but I didn't love it because when I played at release of May of last year, there were like server issues and hit reg issues. So and because it was such a new game and people were grinding it, they were getting the better guns and stuff, and you have to stay at the forefront of the meta because it is a pretty competitive title. You know, it's like, yeah, you can hop in CS and play it casually, but like no one else in the lobby is playing it casually, so it,
That I had a very short experience with this game because you had mentioned potentially playing it. I think I was a couple weeks behind you. I played it for 2 days. I ran into like the sweatiest. Like I was just like, "What is this game? Let's have some fun." And I was being spawn sniped, spawn killed. Just had a really bad time with it. So I never
yeah.
came back to it. But
Yeah. Yeah, so oh yeah, also when I started playing, yeah, the snipers were really brutal.
yeah,
They received a ton of nerfs, but because again in a long TTK game, if you have a sniper that's a one hit body shot, yeah, you need to have really slow draw speeds and ADS speeds, and you need to have spread while moving and stuff. Anyway, but it was free to play. Crazy that it's being sunset. Their official response was, it's the sunsetting process begins effective December 3rd. This was kind of cool. So there was a cosmetic pack. It's free to play, but there was the Ultimate Founders cosmetic pack was $69.99, and anyone who purchased that will be issued a full refund. That's crazy. That's a lot of money, dude. This is an Ubisoft game. This was big. Like they said,
yeah. Refunding a launch pack over a year later is
yeah,
shockingly
yeah,
stand up move.
and it's, you know, up to 277 employees are reportedly being laid off as they close their San Francisco and Osaka offices and ramps down the Sydney office. I mean, yeah, this is crazy. This was like a big deal, you know, to pull the plug on this after only 13 months. That's a tough pill to swallow for them too, because again, I think like the gameplay is genuinely fun. It's sort of like a Battlefield where you have your classes. Um, but it's not so much like Overwatch where like you need a certain class to counter this other class. You can't really fight head to head. Oh, that's a tank over there and you're just a healer. You can't. No, you can engage any enemy like any traditional FPS, but the classes do have a little element of like, oh, that's right. I got to watch out, that guy has a shield that is probably coming off of cooldown, that I so I shouldn't push him, you know. And there's ultimate moves and stuff. Some of the ultimates I think were kind of a little bit too Overwatchy, but at the core of it, it was very objective based compared to, you know, a TDM or free for all type FPS like a Call of Duty. So
Yeah, if you scroll up here a bit, it says that they broke internal records for the fastest game the past 5 million. Had over 15 million players play the game. I think this represents a bigger trend in the gaming industry. Like there are these stalwarts like CS:GO, PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty, and since they've gone live service, like how do you beat them? How do you even compete? These games will come out with like a bunch of hype and they'll get huge player counts for like a month, a few months, and then they just die. And I kind of hate that.
but maybe that's what fast food places do, right? They poop out a new taco that uses a Doritos as a shell, and you throw it at the wall, and if it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick. You got the next stupid idea in the chamber.
Yep, they
And
stay
it's
around. Mm,
yeah,
some like mom and pop shops make it, like maybe a new chain here and there, but like not a lot change.
yeah. So I guess like I'm not personally like sad about this. It was more just it was shocking because it's, you know, such a big game, but then it's not shocking because it kind of struggled for a long time. The last thing I want to show is Mark Rubin. I don't know who he is, a spokesperson for the company, I guess, said back in October 16th that they had no plans to shut down after season 4, but then here they are. And here's their player counts. So they launched in May. So looking at this bar graph, the orange is monthly active users. The green is daily average users, and the black is a gain or a loss. So I guess the orange is also a gain or a loss. Okay, so it's a little bit hard to read how they did this, but like, so this orange, I guess, would have extended all the way to the end, but then all that lost was back in the black.
It's a little confusing, but
Yeah,
the trend is was massive, shrunk very quickly, and then stayed consistent, but it wasn't enough to support the game, I guess.
I
What,
guess,
what
yeah.
was the count there on September, for example? What was
September,
the
so
monthly average?
monthly
Is that
average was
1.6
1.6
million?
million. So that's concurrent, right? That's decent, huh? That seems big.
That must be total. Like average monthly average.
Yeah, if that's concurrent, that would be pretty nuts. That's got to be. Oh,
There's no.
daily. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Daily average users is 461K. So their average daily users were, at least from June through November, their average users were high 400,000s, like 460, 480K.
Yeah, if you scroll down, it's more digestible in the table
Oh,
probably.
there we go.
So like if their daily average users of 320,000 in the last 30 days was enough for the game to shut down, like what did they need to sustain that?
Yeah, I really
That's
don't
not
know.
small.
Hmm.
I guess like there was a precipitous drop off in the last 30 days from their consistent like upper 400,000s, and like what caused that? Was it stale? Did the season suck? Like
Yeah, and it could
there's
also be, are they publicly traded?
we're about to find out.
They are publicly traded. It,
Ubisoft
it's
Entertainment.
it's on the OTC markets, over the counter market, so it's not the New York Stock Exchange. But but point is they do have shareholders. So that
Yeah.
so that might be the thing. Like maybe it was, they could have laid off half their team on it and kept the game going, but then that's an opportunity cost for one of these big businesses, right? Where they're really looking for another hit, so they're kind of cutting their losses and presumably moving on to the next thing. Um,
Yeah, the publisher made a huge difference here for sure. Certain companies or development houses release this game, they're thrilled with this player count.
yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Yo, what is up, guys? Boardzy here with another mousepad review. I'm going to show this mouse, but I'm actually going to talk about something totally separate, and that is this glass pad. I've only been using glass pads from November, what did you say, like the 4th through November 28th? It's
I think
like
it was like a 2 week
oh, 2 weeks.
glass pad extravaganza. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, can you sum up what we're looking at here?
He basically decided to use glass pads for 2 weeks to give them a more fair shake than he has, because he doesn't really like love them typically, and he still doesn't love them. That's what it came down to basically. There wasn't a lot of depth to the video. Like
Okay.
he talked about how they've definitely gotten better. And this beast here has a coating, the Skypad doesn't, but like your arm sticks less. He like gave the beast mousepad he's looking at here, and the Skypad 4.0 the no sleeve seal of approval, basically, like, which I can test to as well. Glass pads are gonna last much longer than a cloth pad. They're not gonna degrade in quality, give or take a coating depending on the glass pad you're on. They're gonna be faster, but like he just talked about like the nuance of the cloth pad, and really just like he said he only played 6 hours of Kovacs in the last 2 weeks, which is super low for him because he just didn't want to use the mice because it wasn't fun to use on the glass pad for him. So,
Interesting.
and I kind of feel similar. Like, so I picked up the Skypad 4.0 recently. Unsure if I'm gonna keep it, but like I used it for a few days. I was like mentally scapegoating it for like missing shots because I was like, oh, it's a glass pad, so this is why I'm missing shots. Like it was causing like some mental blocks for me, but like it didn't feel to me as fast as I thought it was going to. Like it felt slower than like the Infinity Mice Infinite Speed actually. Like it felt more controllable for some reason, which
Hmm.
could come down to like amount of arm contact or like finger contact on the mouse pad. But like my aim didn't feel worse. It just felt pretty similar to be honest. But like it is nice to know that like it wouldn't degrade over time at all.
Yeah.
Which is what's making me like consider: do I keep one glass mouse pad, the Skypad, and never get another one?
Mm-hmm.
And then the real thought there is like, am I just a psychopath who wants to try 1,000 mouse pads, and the glass pad stops me from doing that, so it's just not fun.
Yeah. The little bit I've done with glass pads, it's pretty much the same story. They're fine. They're great that they don't wear down. I don't like having to use a sleeve. That's a big bonus if I don't have to use a sleeve.
I
But
refuse.
it's
Yeah.
still yeah, but it still is too fast. It still is for I feel like maybe this is an unpopular take. I feel like a lot of the people who think that they really need a super fast speed pad, they're just it's just copium, and they really would perform better with something more controlled.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting because like the last time I played Fortnite very consistently a few months ago, I switched from like infinite speed to like Kian Hayateotsu zero clone Type 99 clone. I performed roughly the same on all of them, like after a little bit of an adjustment period.
Yep.
So it's more the player's skill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like I have a few PRs already in Kovacs on the Skypad, but if it does feel shakier in game when it comes down to it. But like it is fun to use name training for a
Yep.
bit, and then I set a cloth pad on it, and I'm like, should I return this? And I got this on a good sale at $96 on Black Friday, but like that's $100 for a mouse pad. And if I'm gonna keep buying more cloth pads, can I justify that? And the answer is probably no. We'll see what happens.
Yep. Okay.
This is the other highly recommended, yeah, glass pad, which I
Yep.
believe is like a sub brand, same person from Glassworks. But
Yeah. Okay. Next thing, talking about pads, the Pulsar something pad. So something is a Valorant pro. I don't know if he's French or something, but this video is
so,
actually is pretty cool and it's worth checking out. So Pulsar is just cool how they, dude, they have so many SKUs of everything, and generally they're pretty good quality. They like seem to understand what the enthusiast market wants compared to like a like a Logitech or Razer who. I mean, they might release something that's really popular just because it's super mainstream, but it might not be the best product. Um, Oh gosh, that's yeah. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, I can't change the volume or anything on their friggin' website, but I wish I could show you guys the video. Um, the video basically shows interviews with something, and he was using a Pulsar Parabrake V2, I think, for a while. He's a high sense player but likes a good amount of stopping power, so he collabed with them, and he said he was surprised to collab because he's like, I'm not a big name like Faker or something, so it feels cool to have his face on a pad. And the surface is unique to him. I still think it's probably going to be, suppliers. They're a big Pulsar's a big company. They probably have their suppliers that they work with, and so it's probably nothing too innovative. I don't know. This is hearsay. I don't know, but like for all we know, it could just be like a parabrake with like a heat treated surface and a screen print image and maybe a different base. I don't know, but
which would affect the speed a bit. Yeah.
yeah, true. So I'm yeah, breaking type breaking pad. Yeah. So I am like watching if you watch some of his clips on YouTube and stuff, he has very quick and sudden flicks. It's not like a lot of the flicking you see in like aim trainers where they talk about in like static scenarios you want to under flick and then continue that
Yeah.
movement to finish. His gameplay is like really trying to land on them, which is interesting. So it leads to some really crazy shots. So I mean, I had a para control effectively and a para speed, and I think they're good pads. I think the main thing is that Pulsar, it's gonna come out at a good price, hopefully, as long as it doesn't follow like the ES2 price. Um, and maybe this is their Pro series with something as the first one, so I'm guessing they're doing more collabs. That's kind of cool.
Pulsar will release a product and then 45 variations of it. But that's nice.
Dude, their
They're all roughly
SKUs.
the same and find the one you think looks the coolest, I guess.
It's impressive how many SKUs they have. Um, okay, let's move on. So I'm gonna skip over. I was gonna talk about thin mice. The only thing I'll make this quick. I was randomly looking at the thinnest mice on Elo shapes, and I came across the Razer Crate 2013. It's a very narrow mouse. If you see how much it tapers in here, like compare that to a Mouse ULX Cheetah, which is a teeny tiny mouse. And this thing's even thinner than it. You look at the grip width here. They're saying as low as 52 millimeters compared to the ULX's 60. So the Razer Crate 2013. I'm kind of curious to try this mouse simply because it's weird and different. Oh, Takasta, talk about an OG reviewer from back in the RocketJumpNinja days.
It's
That's
like
what
an
it looks
hourglass
like.
almost.
Yep. So
Crazy.
it looks like a Taipan, but it's actually a smaller Taipan. You can see how much it indents. The indentation is way far forward. I think that's pretty neat. And it's a quite a aggressive taper. You can see it's very narrow here. I mean, look at the size of his thumb compared to how narrow this is. So these are on eBay for as low as like $30 US. I'm tempted to try one. I believe the 2013 version has a half decent optical sensor, the S3988. But yeah, it's like 80 some grams probably.
You gonna paracord it?
I would, but again, I don't think I'm actually going to order one. But that did make me go down the rabbit hole of other super thin mice. So the Ajaz AM3 kind of popped out of nowhere. I'll compare it to the, yeah. So the AM3 by Ajaz, it's a magnesium mouse. You can see it's actually narrower than a Final Mouse Cheetah, but it's taller. AM3 Ajaz.
So 113 is a super small number for length there,
Yeah, 113 is pretty short,
but it is higher profile.
but it's higher
Yeah,
profile. So it's like a
yeah.
hottie. It's like a hottie super mini.
Which is like my first mouse love.
Yeah. So it's magnesium. I'm really not a fan of the aesthetic. For some reason, the aesthetic, it looks like they tried too many things. They did a very rounded shape, and then they went with these slotted holes, and then they went with these alien holes, and then they went with pointy buttons. I don't know. I think the design, the industrial design
Going
lead.
in 10 directions. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just do solid sides. That's the meta nowadays. Because this released not that long ago.
Was
But
it 49 grams? I want to say.
yeah, so it's not the lightest weight for its size,
Yeah, actually, it's not great.
but it's incredibly narrow. I mean, yeah, just look at how narrow the buttons are compared to the scroll wheel.
Green shell, white dots.
Yep. So they're not cheap though. I want to say, yeah, it's $100 here. They're like 60, $70 on AliExpress. So anyway, this is all an experiment in thin mice. Like, can a thin mouse make you aim better? For example, if most mice, let's open up Paint here.
I'm of the opinion that yes, like, because I'm a thin mouse lover, and I aim the best with the OP18K.
So if most mice are kind of like this, right? Where you have maybe you have a slight indent into the side. What if you were to do something stupid like this, you know? More ergonomic, obviously, but just super duper. And let's imagine you did it like a super thin grip width. What would this do for your aim?
I feel like you're holding a pencil, right? Like, you remember, like, I remember having mechanical pencils back in, like, grade school, and, like, the bigger, thicker ones, like, you didn't feel as precise with, but, like, the smaller ones, you felt
Yep.
like you could write more accurately. That's how
Rocket
I feel about this, too.
Rocket Jump Ninja has the same philosophy, and that brings me to this. So, you know the Rival 650? It's a super heavy, large ergo, older, still uses a high-end sensor though.
It's not
Um,
symmetrical.
nope, it is.
I used a Rival 6 something that was symmetrical for a while, actually, is my main.
So anyway, yeah, this is like a G502.
Okay.
Okay, has modular sides though. Here's the thing: you can take off the modular sides and use it like this. So I've actually done this before, and it is not terrible. RocketJumpNinja has a video on this mouse, and he's like, yeah, it's actually not terrible. So using it like this, it is very weird. What happens is because you are when you grip here, your fingers end up sitting more like here, okay? I'll do an actual shape here. Your fingers end up sitting more like here. So that means the problem I was having is when you try to mouse left or right, naturally there's a little bit of force that goes into lifting the mouse.
Mm.
just moving back and forth. So maybe that's it, or maybe it's just that you have such a narrow friggin' base here that it feels a little bit topsy-turvy, like it wants to turn. On this mouse, it's not terrible because you have this hourglass, so you have these skates that do give support. But yeah, that was one of the issues I had with using this at long term at all. Um, is there's a little bit of instability, but you do get stability in like that mechanical pencil, super thin feeling. So I don't know. Then again, there's people who just use ergos and just plop their hand on the thing and then they're CS:GO pros. So I don't know. But um, yeah, I have like 5 of these Dazz. If we ever meet up
Oh
again
yeah,
and you want to try one, I have 5. I'm not kidding. I have like 5 of them from eBay returns. So pallet returns.
I'd run some Kovacs with it just for the heck of it.
Yeah. It's a heavy mouse though. It is like 120 grams or something stupid.
Nice.
That's what all these little divots are here. They're where you put these 4 gram
Oh, the
metal
weights.
weights. Yeah, so you
Yeah,
can
I
do
remember
8 of
those.
them, 32 grams there. Yeah. Anyway, I meant to make that topic fast and I didn't. Good job. Okay, well, we teased the best looking mouse, so I guess we have to talk about it. So, guys, leave in the comments below, what do you think is the best looking mouse? Was posted to r/mouse review. Why did I click on mouse review? This was posted by Wrist Fingertip. What is the best looking mouse? He likes Zowies. They're functional beauty, like a fighter jet or a sports car. I agree. I think Zowie mice are fantastic. I posted my top 5 here, and we'll get into that. And while I'm doing that, I guess Dazz, if you have anything, you can chime in after I give my list. But this guy says the OP8K Purple Frost. This person, yeah, this person is saying no best looking, but he's glad the over gamer trend is dying out. This guy really likes the Pulsar Quicks Edition X-Lite V4. So this, which is funny that one guy said he didn't like the over gamer aesthetic, and here's this. That's
It looks like a bounty hunter from Star Wars, like Jango Fett.
yeah. I do think
Color
it's
seems off, but
yeah. I do think that's neat. Um, Burst Pro Air really. I think the shape is pretty classical. It's a pretty flat-sided mouse, but I've
I would call
always
it ugly. Honestly,
I agree. There's like a fake brushed aluminum spine here. I've always thought that looks bad. It's
yeah, like
plastic.
kind of flat on the front, like just abruptly ends.
Yeah. So I don't know. Here I got 3 votes. The
Right above
Beast
that,
X.
Bruce Lee.
I think the
That's
Beast X is a good looking mouse. The cutouts are. Yeah, it's a final mouse shape though, so I guess it's a copycat. We would be saying the final mouse looks best. GPX. I think the GPX looks boring.
Someone says MPO1S but doesn't give a color.
Yeah. Arbiter Akitsu. That's a Vancer Arbiter Akitsu. That's a good one. This is a very beautiful mouse. Not so much the top side. I think the honeycomb and the lines look bad. There was an old version of this mouse that I found in FCCID where instead of honeycomb they did the clubs, spades, hearts, diamonds like Vancer usually does. And that just looks terrible. The coolest part of this mouse is by far the bottom. The dragonfly. Why? Because why not? And the carbon fiber accents. This is gorgeous. Same thing goes with the
Oh.
Sword X, the WL mouse Sword X. The bottom of it is just wild if they show this. So there's a bottom sword to it, and the PCB actually follows that shape. It's really
Sick.
cool what they did. Yeah, so the PCB goes all the way down to like here, and then the battery sits back here. The skates they did here is just stupid, but I get there. I think they're going for like a sword is then going into a rock or something. But this skate design is the stupidest thing.
It is.
Um,
That's rough.
yeah. So that's kind of a cool one. I want to go to my list. I have a badge top 1% poster. Look at that. Have a problem. So I said the WL mouse Ying.
Your
This
number
is
one was a mouse you've never had.
yeah. I do think
Bold.
I don't know why this isn't getting more publicity. So first of all, it's available in a few different colors. Is this on X? Yeah. So on X, WL mouse had some really, really good glam shots. I think we talked about this in a previous video, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but they have this like forged carbon fiber or marbled appearance that is just super cool. I think you aren't the biggest fan of it though.
I said it looked like my toddler went to stay and play class and just threw some paint on the mouse.
I think it looks like bowling balls. They'll do that marbling, right?
Oh yeah.
The blue here and the black, the combination of black, gray, white in them, this just looks so cool. I feel like the side buttons and scroll wheel need to match in some other way. But the blue here, you don't see a lot of things like this. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. And then it's a pretty classic, like Sora type shape. So it's a very, even though it's a very different visual, it's a very familiar proportions, which I think looks good. So that was, I don't know if I would say that's my number one. I'll actually say what my number one is going to be the Zowie. We'll go back to that. Here's an older one. The Death Adder 3.5G Black Edition. This picture doesn't do it justice, but as an older mouse from like back in the time of super gamery mice, I think this was one of the best looking mice. This is actually like a metallic finish, and then the sort of like bold looking scroll wheel looked really nice, and then it was all rubberized. Yeah, these pictures don't really do it justice, but yeah, I always thought this was a good looking mouse, at least for its time.
I feel like an aluminum scroll wheel would look sick on there.
Yeah, it was just a really clean look. Somebody like a Optimum would like it. Rival 300 Hyper Beast. This is another cool one. So this was kind of one of the first loud, like special edition mice. I don't want to say like one of the first, but it's at least one that is noteworthy to me. So the Hyper Beast is like a CS:GO skin or whatever. So then they put it on a mouse. Like, dude, SteelSeries used to be so cool. The Rival 300 was a really popular mouse. 3310 sensor, yeah. Anyway, Hyper Beast was kind of neat. Aerox 3 Phase, talking about SteelSeries again. They have some, like the
Yeah.
Diablo stuff. Dude, this is such a cool aesthetic. I have one. Unfortunately, the red in person has a slight orange tint that makes it seem like cheaper plastic. But it is hard to argue that scroll wheel design with this like fake camo pattern and the black and the red, it is very, very sharp.
Yeah, red and black's just a solid color combination.
Yeah. But what I would say the best looking mice of all time, I would say, are actually the white edition Zowies. Pretty much any of them. But I would if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the FK. So I just think that first of all, they're glossy. So let's search for FK2 white red Zowie. First of all, they're glossy, so that looks amazing in product photos. And then instead of doing a black scroll wheel, they went with a sort of medium gray, and I just think that looks absolutely stunning.
The white
Um,
scroll wheel on the red one looks really really cool as well.
yeah, this is a popular one. I think when you get into these kind of colors, it starts to look less elegant and more toyish. I still respect it. I mean, I still love red and white colorways. I love my Wise Owl Cloud, but in terms of like a classical beauty, something that's timeless, I think the white Zowies are. They just are. All Zowies are just very proportional mice. The little red accent looks good.
It's just sleek.
Yeah,
That's how I would describe it.
yeah, yeah. I think that's timeless. Whereas like, um, the just like we look at super gamery mice nowadays, with all the RGB and wings and stuff, that might be how we look at anime pads or at forged carbon fiber mice. In 10 years, we'll see. But I feel like that kind of Zowie white will stick around. Did you come up with anything?
Yeah, my list is way less throwback. We can just kind of zip through it real quick.
Yeah.
The ones that came to mind off the top of my head were the Faker Death Adder V3. I really like that one.
Agreed. Razer did it so well. So, did you see Wise Owl
Yeah, this is
Cloud?
very similar and also very cool.
But they didn't.
There
Yeah,
it is.
the Crimson Lion. Here's the thing, though. The faker. This is a little bit too much. Also, the Crimson Lion. The sort of Chinese, eyes, nose. I think personally, that's not quite my cup of tea. I appreciate it, but I think the faker is a bit more tasteful.
How it stops right as it gets to like M1 and M2, but then it has his signature on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Red on the scroll wheel too looks really good. And in person, these are also color matched phenomenally well.
Yeah, there's a little bit of texture to the design on the back of it as well,
Yeah, because it's
which I
printed.
like.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Strong agree with you on this one. What else?
I had Bruce Lee X2 as well, which I've got here that I got from you.
Yeah. Friends and Family Edition or or this one?
Yeah, right there.
So, okay. Because you know the Friends and Family Edition one too, right?
I don't actually.
It's inverted. I think the normal edition looks better.
Yeah, I had to think there for a second. Yeah, the yellow one. All yellow looks better.
Yep. And there's also a Bruce Lee edition. They have is this an ES2?
I
There's
believe so.
there's also the Friends and Family ES2 edition pad, which is apparently like super rare.
Oh, okay.
Super rare. There's a guy in Mouse Market who wants one. Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is a good one.
There's also the X-Lite V3 ES Founders Edition.
I agree, dude.
Their Founders is like the best, but yeah, the yellow and green together, the aluminum scroll wheel,
Damn. That is
it's sleek.
that is sleek. That is so it is so it's it's elegant but modern at the same time, right? It has this elegant, you know, it's not eight different colors all clashing. It's one body color. The side buttons are black, and it has this one little tail that's yellow. That's it. Then the base is also black. But then it has this touch with the aluminum scroll wheel that is just ooh, it's so good. Chef's kiss to that.
And then a super recent one is the Sentinels Viper V3 Pro.
Really?
I like the aesthetic on this. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
like so I don't like the logo on there, but I think the like crimson red colorway is really sleek.
Yeah.
As I
Okay.
say, sleek for the 10th time.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this. It's not super special to me. But I'm glad it exists because I like having colors other than white and black.
Yeah, I'll never have one, but
I almost got one because there was cash back like 20% or something stupid, and they had a free gift on orders over $200, which ended up being a deck of playing cards. So it would have been, but yeah, $180 price tag. Yeah, I almost got one because after the cash back, it would have been like 150 or something close to that, something like that. So, but I was like, nah, I can't. Okay, I think that just about does it. I did. Let's see. I think that does it for topics. Um, I don't really
I
feel
had
like.
one thing pop into my mind.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the Skypad, I have a very me issue with it, and that the room I sit in is usually like 66, 67 degrees because of where I'm at.
Okay.
And this thing gets really cold. So when I sit down to play, my arm immediately gets cold, and then my hand gets cold 2 minutes later, and I aim like crap when my hand is cold. So it's like actually
Yep.
been one of the main issues with glass for me.
Yep. That's an issue I had too. Yep. Sucks all
I'm glad
your
it's not-
heat away.
But yeah, I just become terrible with it.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
might honestly be a reason I can't keep using it. And I tried using a sleeve because I do have one. I got it on sale once. It just doesn't feel great, and my hand still got cold. So,
Yeah. So, how much longer do you think you're gonna be keeping that pad, or you think you're gonna return it or sell it?
well, because of when I bought it, I have until the end of January to return it to Amazon. So we'll see how long it goes. Because I was playing some Delta Force earlier with it and actually aiming really well. So
Okay. Yeah, I tried. we should like transition. We should do like an end of like towards the end of the podcast if it gets rambly. We should like have a transition maybe. Yeah, we'll workshop that. Let us know what you guys think. If you like the sort of rambles or if you want us to just like cut it and then uh, I don't like I know Linus Tech Tips they have the WAN show after dark, which is where they kind of stop talking about topics and it's more like viewer questions and whatnot. We also want to do this live at some point too, so we can interact with the audience if we have an audience and answer questions, but and do that at the end. So maybe we'll workshop that. But going back to glass pads, I tried a Pulsar Super Glide from Micro Center. Um, Loved the aesthetic. I liked that it was textured. Yeah, way too fast, and then needing a sleeve, and then I also had an ACO glass pad. It is, yeah, this is the one, the Touch the Fashion one. I got a review unit of these. It was fine. It was a 400 by 500 pad, which was nice that it was 500 in width. And these were pretty cheap. I think these were on Amazon for $60. And then, again, same issues. I used it for a review, and then I was like, nope, sold. And then probably the best glass pad I used, I actually didn't use this, I just tested it in the store, was the Moonstone Ace. This is probably the smoother, so Razer Atlas, at least, I don't know, when I tried my glass pads, it was like early 2024, so there weren't a ton of options like there are today. It's crazy how much a year changes things. Your choices were basically like Pulsar Super Glide, ROG Moonstone Ace, um, Razer Atlas, and was like that it. And the Razer, oh yeah, Skypad 3.0, I guess 2.0 also, which I think is just rougher.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those were like the main ones, and everyone raved about the Razer Atlas because it was so smooth, but the ROG Moonstone Ace, from me A/B testing it in Micro Center, slightly smoother, and you could usually find it cheaper. So I still think that the Moonstone is a pretty cool pad. I don't know. I also use from time to time. I went to good old Sam's Club and got a cutting board. And this I would use over a glass pad every day of the week. So it has a slight texturing to the surface. You can see it's like a marbling,
Yep.
like a typical cutting board. I took an orbital sander and I just sanded down one side of it, so it still is textured, but you really don't feel it. And this is totally usable as a mouse pad. First of all, it's like decently large. It's probably 520 in width. I'm comparing it to my other pad right now. It's only maybe like 390, 400 in height here, but yeah, it's probably the size of that ACO pad. You don't need, the big thing is though, you don't need a sleeve, and it's not warm to the touch like a cloth is. It's like putting your wrist on a table, on like your tabletop, your like wood tabletop. So yeah, coldness, it was never an issue. The only issues I ran into are one, if it's really dry in your room, static electricity. Like even me just moving my arm like this, my hairs are starting to stand up. And two, the thickness. So the thickness, maybe if this was bigger, it wouldn't be so jarring, but because there isn't a whole lot of height to it, my, arm sits too like far off of it, and it just feels like you're playing up on a pedestal, which is kind of weird. I don't know, maybe I'm just being weird about that, but yeah, members mark $10 HDPE high density polyethylene mousepad or cutting board.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. Like seriously, for $10, I'm never gonna get rid of this thing because every once in a while I bust it out when I want to do like a smooth bot scenario.
I go to Sam's sometimes, pretty often, so yeah, maybe I'll try it out.
Yeah. Any other ramblings you have?
Nope, nothing from me.
Okay. Um, the last one I have is just a quick shout out to uh, this boy on Reddit, sorry, on eBay who accepted my offer on his ATK F1 Ultimate of $30 because my friggin' ATK F1 Leviathan got canceled on AliExpress because AliExpress sucks, and I could go into a whole rambling of how many did I message you? 6 sellers who have either canceled or tried scamming me asking for more shipping money, or have been like, "Yep, sorry, you just ordered this thing, but it's actually out of stock." Dude,
I've had two mice from the 11/11 and Black Friday. They just never shipped, so now I don't get those mice at those prices, and I don't want to pay full price.
I
So
know, and then you lose the coupon, and you're like, "Well, I would have like changed the coupon then too." Yeah,
coupon's gone, cashback's gone. Yeah,
yeah, very annoying. So yeah, but shout out to this guy, dude. That's crazy that he sold this. I thought it was like not going to be I thought there was going to be an issue with it. The DPI wouldn't adjust at first, but I fixed that eventually with like a driver reinstall, and he's in California too. So anyway, usually stuff from there is expensive because it's more expensive to ship. Um, oh, and then small update on goobering all my mice with the rubberized coating. I have now done it. I'm not even kidding you right now, dude. Sitting over there drying right now. Centali S10 ROM, um, the ROM, oh my gosh, whatever the ROM, MH01, the Deluxe M700 Pro, Lamzu Atlantis Matcha Green, and this one is technically still drying. I did this one today. Um,
you're just going for it. Nice.
I love it. It's reversible. I am a little bit worried that some of the mice that have specialized coatings, when if I go to peel this off one day, it might take some of that coating with it. I'm kind of worried about that. Like I went over the text here that says ATK X1.
Hmm.
I'm kind of worried about it lifting that off, but so much better than grip tape. Like grip tapes, it's all about, getting as thin as possible. You can't get thinner than a coating. And this stuff, it's super grippy. It is way grippier than any grip tape that I've used. Um, it doesn't get
Yep.
all gross like grip tape does. And when it does start getting dirty, like when I'm working at work and I get like dirt on my hands in the lab and then I come and touch my mouse, um, yeah, I just take a cloth or a damp rag and I just wipe it down and that takes the dirt off. I did just notice I must have scuffed this one today. There's a little bit of a scuff mark right in the middle there. So I'm going to have
Yeah.
to repaint this. But dude, dry time is like an hour before I can like start using it again. The one downside, if my camera feels like focusing again, is I got a comment. We got a comment on the last podcast where I talked about that, and the guy was like, oh, well, have fun putting chemicals on your hands or whatever. And my initial reaction was like, man, you must just be scared of the world, dude. Like, really? It's a rubberized coating. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, hang on. He has a point. This is a sealant. It's usually used in areas that are in places you live, like your home or, your boat or your camper or whatever. That's what I bought it for my camper. But I don't know if is it bad to be in constant contact with it? You can look up, they have the material safety data sheets for these. Just MSDS is a term you can search, like for paints and other household chemicals. You can search, Rust-Oleum MSDS, and you can find the product. And sure enough, there are a bunch of chemicals in it that are listed as like harmful to breathe in, harmful to the skin. They can cause skin irritation and such. But all these things are solvents, things that flash off. It's no different than like your wall paint, right? If you have a solvent, most paints in our homes are water based, but if you have a solvent based paint, you use a rattle can, you spray paint, right? That's why it has that sort of gasoline like smell because it's a solvent that it evaporates off, leaving behind the solids, the color. Um, it's the same thing with this rubberized coating. So those are the harmful things. So I'm gonna keep coating my mice with it, but if there's some if there's some class action lawsuit in 20 years about this, I'm gonna feel like such an idiot.
Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, my only concern was gonna be if it was gonna like be fully reversible on all the mice. So I guess we'll find out. We'll look for an update on that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm literally doing it to like all my mice that I main. I am absolutely loving doing it because you can put it exactly where you want. You can make it thicker in certain spots than others. So like if you want, the Wise Owl Cloud has a nice ridge for your ring finger to lift up from that feels kind of, I don't want to say sharp, but it's grabby. So you can do exactly that if you have a mouse with too flat of a side, you can, when you paint it on, you can put a thicker bead towards the top, and now that's like a gripping point. You can put it exactly like if you just want it in one little spot so that your thumb always goes to that same spot every time, you can do that. And then if you don't like it, like in the last live stream, you just peel it off. Hopefully it doesn't take any um, coating with it, but
So it doesn't feel too sticky either, where like it doesn't affect your like micro adjustments or anything. It's just
no, not at all. It feels like, well, you saw from the video, like, remember how I like pulled it apart? I think that
yeah,
it's like a plasticky rubber. It's not, um, yeah, yeah, it's not quite as sticky as like, like some silicone feet to things are like crazy sticky. Like that
yeah, yeah.
ear and ear gecko pad that we're getting that supposedly the guy, do you see the video where he slaps it on a car on the hood of a car and then he pulls the car? I'm sure I'm sure that that's bogus, but we get the idea. It's not that sticky, but it's also way stickier than like you might have silicone cooking utensils that have kind of a powdery feel to them. Where
Yeah,
like
like a basting brush or something. Yeah.
exactly, it's not slippery like that. So it's yeah, it's quite grippy. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I think that does it for the podcast. So thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please consider sharing it with your fellow mouse nerds. If you have a question or want to submit a topic, leave it in the comments. We'd love to engage with you guys. We really appreciate it. It keeps us going and energizes us to do next week's podcast too. So with that said, we will be back next Friday with another episode of the MouseCast podcast. We'll see you guys then.
See ya.